When Elon Musk predicted that the economy is about to enter its worst state. Crisis. There were many experts who disagree with Alvin, but if we see the number, you can see is amazing. Statistics that are historically low. Tried this level with Elon Musk. Predict how long this recession will last. Continue and things don't look up. Great, but the predictions of experts in this field. Which is worse than this crisis? It will have terrible consequences. A U.S. citizen for many more years. There are quick steps that everyone can take. Try to minimize the damage caused by it. This crisis is very dangerous. The situation, so let's explain. It is not. It is a joke that inflation has reached a record, with it being at its highest level in over 40 years. To manage this high, the Federal Reserve's trying to relieve pressure on a historically tight labor market and really strong salary increases for tradesmen. Increase their wages further. Aggressive Fed after strong work. The figures included 5.2%, 12-month average hourly increase. Earnings, according to CME Group data, markets were allocating an approximately 69 central bank prospects interest rate hike for the third time in a row when it meets again. September. While President Joe Biden celebrated great employment statistics, there may be too many unfavorable data points. Consumer price will be reached very soon. Index indicates release. There is increasing pressure, and despite this, a sharp drop in petrol prices. July. It will complicate central raising banks' critical balance act. Interest rates to keep inflation at bay. Rather, they are trying not to send the economy according to the difficulty in the recession. Rick Ryder to Chief Investment Officer, Global Fixed Income and Assets Management giant BlackRock, is how a soft landing was implemented when the economy coming in hot and hitting the runway. It has never been used before. There are financial markets in other ways. Betting against the Fed. 2 years Treasury note yields eclipsed the 10-year. Note the yield from the highest margin, about 22 years. This is known as an inverted yield curve, and this has been a warning before. Especially a sign of the coming recession when it persists for a long period of time. Time is reversed in this case. Available since early July. Sal investors asked Elon on Thursday Musk's how Tesla plans to spend its money in the future and about its global creating an economic recession outlook. Macroeconomic forecasts a prescription for disaster, Casturi said, but that yet we are past that prophecy. Inflation is on the rise and will experience a recession that lasts about 18 months. What does current do? In brief, all are fine according to the situation. Liz and Saunders for Chief Investment. Charles Schwab's strategist is one unique cycle. What is meant by demand shift back to goods and services? From there are now several challenges for economy. Is the question now America is in recession, and if yes, then it should be. This is our primary concern at this time. Commonly asked questions by economists. Who believes that the hardest part, the journey, is yet to come? At present, there is a huge shortage of workers. The challenge. Manufacturing is in the United States. A restoration is ready. Malik received a wake-up call when supply chain issues during the pandemic showed us how vulnerable and fragile we are. The system is not just that, it showed how highly dependent on a long supply chain, especially one located outside the United States, can lead. Crumbled, and of course growing tensions with China have forced us rethink its dependence on the Chinese manufacturing for economic success. So the manufacturers have changed heart and now want to build locally, but it is also possible that the problems how American industry intense less staff to fuel this revolution, just said that they are not skilled enough. Nor are there workers to go around, plenty of unskilled workers willing to learn. But here is the thing really needed, mother of invention. And if we see what is the best invention in this modern age, more than artificial intelligence. So there is a manufacturing labor crisis. Paved the way for some of the ways AI can do that. Will be used to prepare achievements. But first let's take a quick look at it. Behind this new is the problem of labor. A modern way to put into this crisis. Some approach, even if every skilled a worker was employed in the United States, 35% would still be higher. Job positions filled unsustainable compared to the goods manufacturing industry eligible persons to fill. Some analysts actually expect them to A shortage of more than 2 million Americans. Manufacturing workers by 2030, and it will be a big problem for the economy, as it would represent $1 trillion annual opportunity cost. If immediate action is required, we want to avoid this, because if things don't change, we can find ourselves struggling to fix it when it happens too late. There are still more than 40 million children, boomers, and those in the labor market, about 25% of the entire workforce. So who are these baby boomers retiring, going to fill in the old school manufacturing jobs we've seen, as young people are avoiding jobs, this and that, instead of juxtaposition, technology in healthcare or other fields with better working conditions and pay? A solution has to be found. Immigrants who will fill these vacancies. But it has a whole set of political implications and associated logistical issues, and firms may be reluctant to provide new training. Only they have skilled staff. During the next period, the operation will stop. Lockdown to equalize urgency. More serious American manufacturers are necessary. Find alternatives to human labor to operate the machines, and the sooner they can, the more the damage it brings us can be avoided. Back to artificial intelligence, and the solution can work for many people. Professions are a lot of fear, the uncertainty that surrounds AI, but workers should focus instead how it can help sustain operations running, and your human employees are now talking here and there. AI can do many things in manufacturing. Help address labor shortages. Robots have been used for decades. Industries like automotive, manufacturing, and steel work is to be done. Repeatable factory floor procedures, e.g., as heavy lifting and joint welding, but these machines were made just for that. Perform very strictly defined tasks under relatively predictable conditions. AI solutions can make these robots smarter and much more independent. For example, Siemens' somatic neural processing unit that allows robot arms grasping and moving objects independently, the speed or location of their orientation. This means that robots can be trained process a wide range of assembly lines. Works in a way that humans do not. If you're not sure, let's see. Autonomous guided vehicles, AGVs, equipped with artificial intelligence. These capabilities include mapping, surface anomaly detection, and objects avoidance technology that can transport through parts and finished goods. Warehouses and factory floors are in place of loading crews and forklift operators. This AI-powered robotic development, when combined, savings of at least 75 can be achieved. Labor costs of employing people alone. 24 hours continuous active helps minimize yield and loss. Heavy materials pose a threat to the assembly line. Handling and repetitive motions. 3D printing is another area where AI is helping to maximize the productivity of the bridge. To arrive at an optimal design solution, skilled designers and engineers are essential. Rely on years of expertise and the best. Guess what? But all these changes with AI softwares that enable faster, creative approach to production. Complex and highly refined design solutions that can be built quickly. 3D printing can be used by manufacturers. Machine learning in software systems for entering design parameters and apply for the most efficient and effective production solutions. Once a design is artificially selected, intelligence uses neural networks monitor forecasts and eliminate errors. Manufacturing processes and savings time and resources are paramount. AI does this by scanning for any latency or mistakes. If we look at it purely manufacturing stand intelligent Alchemite AI software, it's awesome, can be used to visualize how new and abnormal content is appropriate for the specific production and use of products requirements. If all these super complicated things just got done, the company will be greatly needed by humans. Large teams of highly trained engineers and designers, and end results mostly less than just artificial intelligence. Systems will continue to evolve as they do. More and more secure data is exposed. Saying this creates a flywheel effect. All of these will throw you out business if you miss the trade, but revolution has a unique potential, reviving the American in its entirety manufacturing fields, and who knows, it might happen one of the most competitive in the world. So we have to remember AI. A manufacturing revolution is happening, not a distant future yet. And it's not just a labor issue. Minor discomfort is fine either. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the button notification bell.